the entrance into the legend. Over 11,000 years ago, a great naval power ruled the oceans. A city glittering with gold and precious metals, built in concentric circles of water, surrounded by massive walls and towering temples. Its name, Atlantis. Imagine walking its streets, hearing the roar of water between the canals, watching a mighty fleet sail into the distance. Everything here seems impossible, yet legend insists it was real. The source and the civilization. Atlantis appears only in the writings of the Greek philosopher Plato, in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias. Plato claimed the story reached him through the Athenian lawgiver Solon, who heard it from Egyptian priests. Yet, no Egyptian text confirms Atlantis existed. According to his description, the city was divided into rings of land and water, adorned with precious metals, filled with temples, soldiers, and fleets. Larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined, located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, Origins, and the real catastrophe. But was Atlantis real? In the 16th century BCE, the volcano on Santorini erupted, one of the most powerful eruptions in history. And perhaps Atlantis was no exception. History has seen great cities fall, swallowed by earth and sea. Entire civilizations lost beneath the waves. Sometimes, legends begin with fragments of truth. The story of Atlantis did not come from a sailor or an explorer. It came from a philosopher, Plato, more than 2,000 years ago. Plato wrote about a powerful island civilization, a civilization that vanished in a single day and night. The story was told to the Greek lawmaker Solon by Egyptian priests, who claimed their records went back thousands of years. According to the story, Atlantis was a vast island beyond the Pillars of Hercules, larger than many kingdoms combined. Its cities were rich, its engineers brilliant, its people powerful. Some believe Atlantis may have been inspired by the destruction of Santorini after a massive volcanic eruption. Others believe it may lie hidden beneath the ocean, waiting to be discovered. Others believe Atlantis may still lie beneath the ocean floor, hidden under thousands of years of sediment and shifting tectonic plates. Over the past century, scientists and archaeologists have searched the oceans for traces of lost civilizations. Modern mapping technology now reveals the ocean floor in extraordinary detail. Yet the Atlantic still hides vast unexplored regions. And history tells us something important. Entire cities have vanished beneath the sea before. In 1967, archaeologists discovered Pavlopetri, a 5,000-year-old city submerged off the coast of Greece. Modern mapping technology now reveals the ocean floor in extraordinary detail, yet the Atlantic still hides vast unexplored regions. And history tells us something important. Entire cities have vanished beneath the sea before. Off the coast of Egypt, the ancient cities of Thanis and Heraklion were discovered in the year 2000. These cities once thrived with temples, harbors, and trade, before earthquakes and rising seas buried them underwater. But some researchers believe Atlantis was far larger, perhaps located somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean itself. One of the most famous theories connects Atlantis to the eruption of Santorini, around 1600 BCE. The eruption was one of the most powerful volcanic events in human history. It triggered massive tsunamis that devastated coastal cities across the Mediterranean. Some historians believe the destruction of the Minoan civilization may have inspired Plato's. In Japan, another mystery has puzzled researchers for decades. In 1986, diver Kihachiro Aratake discovered strange underwater formations near Yonaguni Island. Some researchers believe these massive stone terraces may be the remains of a lost civilization. Others argue they are natural rock formations shaped by geological processes. Over the last 2 centuries, researchers have proposed dozens of possible locations for Atlantis. But the only ancient source describing Atlantis comes from the Greek philosopher Plato. Written around 360 BCE, Plato claimed the story came from the Athenian lawmaker Solon, who visited Egypt around 590 BCE. According to Plato, Egyptian priests told Solon about a powerful island civilization that existed 9,000 years before his time. If Plato's numbers were correct, Atlantis would have existed around 9600 BC. At that time, the Earth was just emerging from the last ice age. Between 12,000 and 8,000 years ago, global sea levels rose by nearly 120 meters. Entire coastal landscapes vanished beneath the rising oceans. Some researchers believe Atlantis may have existed near the Azores Islands in the Atlantic. These islands sit atop a massive underwater mountain chain known as the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. Here, tectonic plates slowly pull apart, reshaping the ocean floor over millions of years. In 1882, American Congressman Ignatius Donnelly published a controversial book titled Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. He argued that Atlantis was a real civilization that influenced ancient cultures around the world. He pointed to similarities between pyramids, myths, and symbols across distant cultures. However, modern archaeology has found no direct evidence of a global Atlantean empire. Even today, only about 20% of the ocean floor has been fully mapped. The rest remains one of the greatest unexplored frontiers on Earth. From time to time, strange formations appear in sonar scans. Somewhere beneath these waters, the truth may still be waiting. A civilization remembered only in fragments of a story. Entire coastlines disappeared between 12,000 and 8,000 BCE. In Greece, archaeologists discovered Pavlopetri, the oldest known submerged city. The city dates back to around 3000 BCE. Off the coast of India, another submerged city was discovered near Dwarka. Some structures there may date to 1500 BCE or earlier. Many historians now compare Atlantis with the Minoan civilization. The Minoans flourished on Crete around 2000 BCE. Then, around 1600 BCE, the volcano of Thera exploded. It was one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history. The eruption triggered massive tsunamis across the Mediterranean. Entire coastal cities were devastated. Centuries later, Plato recorded the story. Around 360 BCE, Plato described Atlantis in his dialogues. The dialogues were called Timaeus and Critias. He claimed the island existed beyond the Pillars of Heracles, and that it vanished in a single day and night of catastrophe. Today, more than 70% of the Earth's surface lies barren, and much of the ocean floor remains unexplored. The oceans. The Greek philosopher, Plato, writing more than 2,300 years ago, And outside of his writings, there is no historical record of Atlantis. Many historians now believe Atlantis was never meant to be real, but a philosophical story, a warning about pride and the fall of great civilizations, a lesson hidden inside a legend. So the question remains, was Atlantis a lost civilization, or simply the imagination of one philosopher? Tell us what you think in the comments.